One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar. Insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Whistle reports and paves his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good, happy hump day to everybody. Hopefully everyone's enjoying their beautiful morning over here. We're hanging out with all of you legends. It's got to be good. It's got to be good when the Breakfast Club gets around and hangs out, man. We got a lot to discuss. We have a lot to push through. Real quick, I have it, titled today. We have a lot of Trump updates, of course. We actually have quite a bit. We have some pardons that we're going to go ahead and discuss as well. We have a lot to discuss in regards to Russia, but what I have here is Vance to speak at the Bitcoin conference, which we're not covering today. I'm just putting it there so you guys know that that is happening today. That is happening today, but we are not, basically we're not going to cover any of that. Then we have the Israel-Hamas updates as well. We have a couple of random this huge Texas jet ski hit and run ordeal. There's a lot to discuss this morning. So anyways, before we get into the craziness, man, make sure you guys hit that like button. It's the #1 metric of all of YouTube. Helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. And you know what else is free is hitting that subscribe button if you guys are new here. You know what I mean? I very much appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Please consider becoming a member starting only at $2.99 a month, where we're not breaking the bank with anybody over here, man. But guess what? This is how we don't get to cater to views on YouTube. Listen, I honestly don't think a lot of YouTubers set themselves up this way. I think that the majority of YouTubers kind of rely on like AdSense and views. That's where you get paid on views. But it's pennies. It's literally pennies on the dollar. And realistically, what I even see from ads at the end of the day, at the end of an entire month, is like $120. Oh, you know what I mean? Oh, so we're not sitting there catering to no views. We're 100% funded by you guys in the Breakfast Club. Very much appreciate that. Also, a little side note, follow my Instagram right here at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my lifestyle, but of the show, as well as Millennial Food Time. I did it again, Steve Easy's, because I was thinking about it. See when you psych yourself out? Last but not least, of course, listen, every super chat, what are they called? Super stickers, gifted membership signups, all these things, of course, are going to be shouted out live onto the show. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube brutal 30% cut, we have these platforms scrolling for the remainder of the show. And remember this, chat, everyone should know this. If you use your Apple iPhone or Apple products, whatever, to purchase any super chat or anything in here, or even members and stuff like that, if you do that, they take a 30% cut as well. So 30% goes to YouTube, 30% goes to Apple, and then you get the rest, which is 40%. Feels ultra bad, dude. Feels ultra bad. Anyways, so I will shout you guys out over there if you guys send in these over here. So this will, you know, the homie wraps it up for me.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking.
Was Lucy in the background? I'm sure she was. We got now. Oh, yeah. I see her now. Yeah, she's laying there. You pointed it out for me, Naomi. At first, I'm like, what, did she run around? No, she's sleeping. Yes, sir. It is hump day, homie. And she has, you know, maybe from far, she kind of looks like that, but she's not really that big. She's not going to be much bigger than she is now, which is great. She's not like a big size cat. I like a smaller cat. We got Miss Lotus as well, by the way. Good morning. And we got S&S as well. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Brother Steve Easy, as well as Naomi, throwing in all the you know, the Cash Apps, the PayPals, the links, all of that. The Discord links, by the way, stuff like that. We got Papa Penguin saying, morning, y'all. Driving? Yes, sir. Make sure you keep driving safe, kind sir. We want to make sure of that. We got Steve Posey, my man. Good morning, Mike Ball and the Breakfast Club. Yes, I got my left-handed tobacco ready to go. So we're about to get into that. So the official announcement is we need 9 more memberships needed to add more emotes. Yes. I told her to remind me of that tomorrow, which is today, you know. So thank you for that. 9 more memberships to add more emotes. So Steve, that's right. Fuck Apple, Orange Gang Cuh. Yes, sir. I hear that. I heard that. We got Dwayne Martin, my man. Good morning to you. Let's see. We got over there on the Twitch side of things. Very much appreciate you hanging out with us. K Pong. I never knew how to actually say your actual name, Pongski. But what's good, man? It's been a long time. I'm over here on the YouTube side of the business now. We got Carney's Ride, by the way. Good morning to you, kind sir. Hopefully you are doing well. It was great catching up with you, Carney, on the panel there, even though I didn't like go on the panel, but like listening to you guys hang out, which was a good time. If you're still going to be live, Carney, I have the raid set up to raid you. So anyways, we're about to get into the fucking madness of the world. So we're going to go ahead and start this off. We have a lot to discuss, and we're going to kind of blow through this really, really quick. We're going to get through it. A lot of these segments are anywhere from like 2 to 6 minutes, so they're very quick. There's only a couple of segments that are a little bit longer, and that's regards to Russia and Israel. So we have about 3 stories we're going to get through very beginning before we get into the super geopolitics of like, well, you know, freaking Russia and shit. So we're going to go ahead and start with the pardons. Okay. So what is this and who is it? Todd and Julie Chrisley, I think I'm saying that right, are a pardon set. So let's go ahead and figure this out.
6:14 here on the East Coast, and welcome back to Live Now from Fox as we continue with your top stories and headlines this Wednesday morning. New this morning, reality TV stars Todd and Julie Chrisley are expected to be released from prison. President Donald Trump making the announcement on social media and even called Savannah Chris.
Yeah, I know who they are too. They're like a celebrity. I think what he ended up getting locked up for is doing some sort of scandal with the bank or something like that. I think that he was not laundering money or anything, but he was stealing money essentially, or whatever, some sort of fraud.
Chrisley letting her know the news. Right now, we want to check in with Fox 5 Atlanta's Brooke Zahner. She joins us live at the federal courthouse in downtown Atlanta with the very latest. Brooke, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. And the Chrisley's daughter, Savannah, also posted to her own social media feed.
Good morning, Tiffany, by the way.
First thanking President Trump for commuting her parents' sentences and her followers for all of their support. She's really been at the forefront of trying to get her parents' convictions overturned.
It's time. It's already time.
Be free and clean.
In a video posted to X, President Donald Trump says he's granting full pardons to former reality TV stars Todd and Julie Chrisley.
I have shed so many tears. The president called me personally as I was walking into Sam's Club and notified me that he was signing pardon paperwork for both of my.
She is dude, I mean, listen, you pardon my parents. I don't care who you are. I'm a support that. You know what I mean?
My parents.
The pair was convicted in 2022 of conspiring to defraud banks and the IRS out of millions of dollars. During their incarceration,
ultra white.
Their legal team continued to file appeals while their daughter, Savannah, sought
What's up, Christopher Collins? Good morning.
a pardon petition.
I don't know them, but give them my regards.
It still doesn't feel real. It doesn't. I'm freaking out. So I'm going to go and prepare to go pick up my parents.
That pardon petition claimed the Chrisleys' convictions were based on an illegal raid, compromised evidence, and false testimony by a key government witness. On Tuesday,
we got Blackout in the building. My man, good to see you, by the way. And yes, what he just said, hey, you. Yeah, you. Hit that like button. Yes, sir. I very much appreciate that, kind sir. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far on this beautiful hump day morning. We got a lot to get through, though. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories at minimum to go through. Let's get it.
Tuesday, both Savannah and her brother Grayson got a call from the president letting them know he would
It was tax evasion. That's what it was. That's what it was. And they added bank fraud. Thank you for that, Hook Dog.
Their parents.
I knew I read that somewhere this morning.
Trump didn't just commute their sentences. He gave them a full unconditional pardon. So for that, I am forever grateful.
And Savannah went on to say that she's expecting
Oh, shit. All right, brother Hook Dog. We'll see you on the flip side, my man.
To have her parents back
Listen
home
to that
at some
audio.
point today, if that hasn't already happened. Of course, it's something we'll be tracking here. But for now, that is the latest here live in downtown Atlanta. I'm Brooks Honor reporting for Live Now from Fox.
All right. That's perfect right there. We'll go ahead and now move it on into this interesting story here, which has actually got a lot of traction. There's a lot of ironically, there's a lot of views on this. I'm not really sure why. But the name of this is Texas jet ski hit and run. Suspects arrested are in U.S. illegally. Well, that's why it went viral. Because homeboys are here illegally.
Thanks for being with us here on Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Christina Evans. We now want to shift gears, showing you a live look there in Dallas. Of course, shifting gears.
And this was last night, by the way. This is 12 hours ago. So, when I saw this story, I was like, oh, we're definitely going to talk about this.
Story that came from over the weekend just outside of Dallas, Texas. Officials say that an 18-year-old woman named Ava Moore was kayaking on a nearby Grapevine Lake there on Sunday. She was killed when a jet ski hit and run. The driver of the jet ski fled the scene with a male, and a search ensued. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton later announced that those 2 suspects were arrested and were.
What's up, brother Lee? Good morning. Good morning.
Now learning much more about who they are. I want to now turn our attention to Fox 4 Dallas reporter David Santendry. He's standing by to give us all of the details and the latest. David, thanks so much for being with us here on Live Now from Fox. Just break down the very latest, some of those details that are just now coming out.
Yeah, thanks, Christina. Well, just within the past hour, we obtained an arrest warrant affidavit for 2 suspects. And the person who was driving that jet ski apparently was operating it at a very high rate of speed around.
Well, yeah, that's what they do. I mean, when I'm riding a jet ski out there, listen, I'm gunning that motherfucker. Now, when you're out at sea, like when you're out, like actually, meaning in not a lake and you're dealing with the ocean, you can't just gun it. You can't, you can't, you'll end up throwing yourself off that motherfucker because of the, not waves, but you have just a current and, you definitely have a surge.
On swimmers and kayakers. And we've learned that Ava Moore, who was on her kayak.
Yo, trigger warning, by the way, and Hardwire. Always appreciate you guys. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your morning.
Like trying to get away from that jet ski just because it appears it was being reckless on the lake. Then she was struck from behind. The operator of that jet ski actually got away, but not before a photo was taken of her and shared with law enforcement, who have just blasted it across social media here in North Texas.
But yeah, it's like, well, that too, the wake, sure, but wake is created from like an actual vessel, but it's more like a Man, I can't even remember my words on that. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's not a current. Fuck. As a captain, I should know this. Thinking about it. I'll think about it.
Came and helped.
You and me both, Steve Posey. Every single day, at least 100 fucking spam calls. At bare minimum. It's terrible. You know, there's a setting in your phone, if you have an Apple, at least, if you have an Apple phone, you can reject any and all spam calls. So it like any of those random numbers, they just won't come through. I turned it off because I needed an important phone call that I needed to answer, and it could come from one of those random fucking numbers. So I got to turn mine back on so I don't get those spam calls anymore.
Here, authorities demand 2 people reportedly on the run from a deadly lake crash surrender.
I mean, everything that our officers and all the agencies have been doing is for Ava Moore.
18-year-old Ava Moore.
Oh my goodness. What's up, Lindsay? Hopefully you're enjoying your morning.
U.S. Air Force Academy preparatory school graduate was killed after being struck by a jet ski while kayaking on Grapevine Lake.
Damn. Do you guys hear that? Man, that sucks, man. You actually killed the motherfucker with a jet ski? Oh my God, dude.
Several rooms inside are...
That's right. I appreciate that, Hardwire. Real quick, he says, don't forget to donate for the first annual Insane Wheels Network family reunion. Yes, it's going to be a 4th of July party weekend. Donate on the GoFundMe and buy a beer for the fam. Maybe buy 1 or buy 6, buy 20, buy a case, buy multiple cases. Any of that shit. No, I very much appreciate you, kind sir. And thank you for your recent donation to the GoFundMe, by the way. I see that. I very much appreciate that, kind sir.
Rented. She claims
it's gonna be a good time.
Vehicle crash.
Shit. Come on, man.
While driving away from the lake with Gonzalez.
Oh my God, dude. Are you serious?
Oh shit!
Listen to that again.
Abuelo. So Gonzalez is facing several charges, the most significant being manslaughter. Texas game wardens, who are the lead on this investigation, plan to have a press conference tomorrow morning where we are expected to hear more information about what led to this arrest and some possible new charges. Christina?
And David, of course, such a sad story. I have to ask you before I let you go, have we heard from Ava's family at all? Have they spoken out in the midst of any of this?
So her family has released a brief statement, just, thanking people for their prayers. Actually even said that they are...
What's up, David? Good morning to you, kind sir, and happy hump day.
Giving out some prayers to everyone involved, that also being the suspects. So you don't always see that. We did have an opportunity yesterday to interview one of...
Man, I've had a fucking Facebook since 2009. The same profile I use right now. If you go back to my very, very first profile picture, I think it was it was 2009. But crazy, bro. Yeah, I guess I am a fucking boomer. And real quick, Carney's Ride giving a call out. We got 28 of you guys now, whatever, watching, and we only have 21 likes. Yo, hit the like button. You guys don't have to like what's happening around the world and what's happening in our nation right now here in the United States, but you guys can like it for me and my takes and what we do over here for the team. You know what I mean?
Ava's former basketball coaches, who said she was just a shining star. She expected her to really climb the ranks in the military once she officially got in, and just had nothing but positive things to say about her.
Again, there with Fox 4 in Dallas, giving us an update on this very sad story, David Centendry. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, wanted to bring that to you here on Live Now from Fox. And just to wrap up what we heard and learned there in this story, I want to put this up on the screen as well. These were some of those tweets that were put out by the Fox reporter David Centendry, saying that is the picture. We also saw that there in the story when Gonzalez was arrested. She allegedly struck and killed Ava, who's only 18 years old, there on Grapevine Lake with a jet ski before fleeing. They
killed the person. Ava was 18 years old. Oh, man.
Was reported now that she was in the country illegally from Venezuela. And we do know, again, Moore was preparing for military basic training. And there's another photo as well that we have there of the lake where this happened. But
real quick, we got Frederick Frame and Are We Not Men? Hopefully you guys are enjoying your guys' morning so far. Good to see everyone and enjoying your your happy hump day enjoyment of a show. Let's
According
get
to an
it.
arrest affidavit, Gonzalez was driving that jet ski at a high rate of speed in close proximity to swimmers and others. The kayakers, though, as we heard, were just trying to get away when Ava Moore was struck from behind. Sad
Damn.
story, but we certainly wanted to bring it to you here.
It's not even like they ran over the top over somebody. You know what I mean? Like with a jet ski, if someone's in the water or something like that, they're swimming. This person was freaking kayaking. Bro, what are you doing? Fucking lame asses. Anyways, all right. So that was enough of that. Now we're going to go ahead and get into what the title of this is World War III. Putin's words against, well, he was responding to Donald Trump. So let's go ahead and get into what is being said.
Right now, you are taking a live look over Moscow there in Russia as tensions between the U.S. and Russia appear to be escalating dramatically. A Russian official talking about the possibility of World War III. Fox
No, he doesn't say sad situation. He says sad state of affairs. That's what he says.
Is Doug Luzader joining us now live.
Sad
Doug,
state
good
of
morning.
affairs.
Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, first off, I do want to ask you, can you break down the actual context here of the statement that was made and really who made it?
Well, you know, we've had a long effort now on the part of the White House to get Russia to the negotiating table. Thus far, it really hasn't worked in terms of brokering a ceasefire agreement. There's clearly frustration on the part of the Trump administration that has been mirrored with a pretty brisk response from the Kremlin. So where it goes from here isn't clear. The White House indicates that the president is considering all of his options, which may include sanctions levied on Russia. There has been a report out of the Kyiv Post that the president may consider lifting some of the range restrictions on the weapons we have given to Russia and the weapons we have given to Ukraine. And at the same time, you have this pressure building from Congress to ramp up sanctions. And that looks like it's shaping up to be a veto-proof majority in the Senate that would back some kind of additional response from the White House. So everyone's kind of waiting to see exactly how the president and the White House responds through the course of this week.
And that's what I was going to ask you. The statement coming out from that Russian official, obviously the former president of Russia there. So my question is, has President Trump responded? We know that he's usually pretty busy there on Truth Social, but it appears that he hasn't said anything in response to what was essentially a response.
Well, this may come down to a question of what the White House does in terms of whether there will be additional sanctions this week. There had been a report of the Wall Street Journal that they are considering
A2Z, good morning, good morning.
Additional sanctions. Again, this report.
If they're not going to show what the response, I don't know why they're not showing it. Right now they should be showing the conversation between Trump and Putin over the internet, essentially. On social media.
Of possible.
If not, then I'll read it.
Lifting of range restrictions. I mean, there are a host of options here in front of the White House. We just don't know what path they're going to take, and it may be that we don't see any kind of response.
And quick question here. How does it appear that the relationship between President Trump and President Putin has kind of changed over the past several days and really maybe a week or so?
Shit, no kidding. What's up, Provo? Good morning to you, kind sir. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far on your freaking hump day Wednesday.
Well, the president has made his frustration very, very clear, saying that in his mind, something has happened to Vladimir Putin.
I'm going to read it
recently, and that there's just frustration that he has not negotiated at this point a ceasefire deal.
All right. So that's unfortunate that they didn't show what the conversation was. So I'll read it. So what Trump had said, Trump asserted that many, quoting, bad things would have befallen Russia if it were not for him, warning that Russian President Vladimir Putin is playing with fire. Quote, this is what Trump said. What Vladimir Putin doesn't realize is if it weren't for me, lots of really bad things would have already happened to Russia. And I mean really bad. He's playing with fire. Trump declared in Truth Social post. So he put it on Truth Social. Then Vladimir Putin, or not Vladimir Putin, Medvedev. I don't know how to fucking say this. Medvedev. Medvedev. So, anyways, it is a Russian official, though. The response was, quote, regarding Trump's words about Putin playing with fire and really bad things happening to Russia, I only know of one really bad thing, World War III. I hope Trump understands this. It was like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. Homeboy don't want our smoke. Oh, shit. Oh, and as a couple of you guys have already said in the chat, dude, if they can't even take out Ukraine.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Stop the cap.
Come on, yo. For real? For real? You think that we can't just send the Canadians to do the light work for us? You know, we could handle that. No problem. Bring it, old man. Let's see which old man's got it better. So, anyways, so we're gonna go ahead and move on into the Israel-Hamas update. We'll go ahead and bring this up right now. Boomskis.
A lot to discuss here, including a potential ceasefire deal between
Good.
Israel and Hamas.
Today marks 600 days since hostages taken captive.
Bring in a friend of the show here, Alex Trayman, the CEO and Jerusalem bureau chief at the Jewish News Syndicate. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Josh, thanks so much for having me.
Of course. And I do want to start off by talking about the fact that today does mark 600 days since those hostages were taken on October 7th of 2023. So did you think that here 600 days later, we would still be waiting for nearly 60 of those hostages to be released?
Well, just 2 days ago, we celebrated Jerusalem Day, which was the reunification of Jerusalem in the Six-Day War. And everybody wants there to be a Six-Day War. And here we are now at 600 days. It's been a long and a difficult and methodical struggle for the IDF. Elongated in
shit. What's up, process? And man, I always appreciate you hanging out, by the way. I know you don't sit here and chat like a ton in the chat or anything like that, but you just being here and hanging out means a lot. So I very much appreciate the ones that are lurking and hanging out. You know, I always appreciate that.
For two main reasons. Number one, because of the lack of weapons that were flowing to Israel under the Biden administration. And two, giving the time and space for negotiations to bring hostages home. And Israel has succeeded to bring 197 of the 251 hostages back, 148 alive. But as you mentioned, still 600 days later, and at least 20 living hostages still in Gaza.
I want to talk about the potential ceasefire deal because there's conflicting reports about a deal between Israel and Hamas. We had Reuters that was saying that Steve Witkoff, the U.S. Middle East envoy, had actually brokered a deal that Hamas said it would agree to. Israel kind of hinted, when you talk about Netanyahu, that there could potentially be some kind of deal or an announcement in the next day or two, then kind of walked that back. So there's a lot going on here. Do we know anything about if there is an actual deal that could be coming?
Well, Israel's certainly willing to engage in a deal that will bring back all the living hostages. They've said that they would be willing to agree to a deal that would bring 10 of the 20 living hostages home up front, and then the remaining.
Yeah, but they're not going to ever do that type of deal because Hamas knows that no matter what they do, if they hand over the hostages now or if they don't, they're still getting wiped out. Still going to happen. So the war is not going to end, and that's what they wanted because it's too big of a force. Obviously, Israel won that whole ordeal, and it's like at that point, it's like, dude, just come up with your hands up at this point. Just accept defeat. But whatever.
10 at the end of the conclusion of the deal. Hamas said that they had agreed to the Witkoff formula. What they had offered was half of what I just discussed, 5 up front and 5 later, still leaving 10 hostages in Gaza after an elongated ceasefire. But Steve Witkoff seemed to put ice on this as well, saying that what Hamas had offered was nothing like the deal that he had put on the table, and that we
Man,
Stop the cap.
you think I need to fucking wax myself? Come on. Don't be beach. Why are you gay?
seen this happen before, where Hamas basically says that they accept the deal that they are proposing in order to put more pressure on Israel. But both Israel and Witkoff saying that no deal has been reached at this point.
I know you and I have discussed this in the past, but I do want to get your take now, as we've heard a lot from President Trump over the last several months regarding the war in Gaza. What sort of pull, what sort of power does the U.S. and President Trump have over Israel when it comes to accepting any kind of deal? Can the U.S. force Israel to accept a deal that the U.S. wants?
Well, the U.S. has a significant leverage over Israel, and specifically with regard to the provision of the weapons that Israel needs to fight this war. I think that it needs to be understood that it's Israel is the one that's more insistent on doing whatever it can to get back the hostages.
And you got to remember, this is the main, I think, owner of the Jewish news syndicate, or one of the head motherfuckers. But I think he's like the director or owner.
Even more so than the United States. And the current incursion into Gaza has been strategically discussed at length with the Trump administration. They have agreed on Israel's strategic path. They've agreed on the timing. And the United States has provided the weapons for this latest operation in the Gaza Strip. But at the same time, the Trump administration trying to pay lip service to other nations around the world that want the hostages to be the only issue that Israel's dealing with. But there's a lot of coordination between Israel and the United States right here. And even though the U.S. has a lot of leverage.
Well, that's the whole thing. They're not really fighting a war. They're just getting over a battle right now. The real war is with Iran and the radicals over there, you know.
Proxy the U.S. wars. Is providing Israel with the weapons and with the space to do what they need to do to remove Hamas from power.
And I did want to ask about the new humanitarian aid efforts that are officially underway now. Have they, do they appear that they've been better, that things are working?
Yeah, is it successful? Have any of the citizens of Hamas, you know, in Gaza, have any of them been robbed by Hamas yet?
Better than they have in the past? Is it about the same, or are we seeing, you know, much of the same problem? Because we know that gunshots.
No kidding, movement. Hey, appreciate you for hanging out with us on the Twitch side of the equation, man. Don't very much go live. Well, I don't, you know, usually, you know, put my Twitch together on here, but hey, once in a while I do. And I very much appreciate you hanging out with us. We're on the YouTube side of the equation, though. Make sure you hang out with us at Insane Wheels. You know what I mean? All one word. And this is where we all hang out, man. Very much appreciate it.
Have been fired. You have people that have been executed by Hamas as a result. So how are things kind of operating there when it does come to the humanitarian efforts?
Yeah, I mean, the situation in Gaza is horrible. You know, Gazans don't have a place to live. There's no economy, and people are relying on humanitarian aid.
Oh, yeah, that's forever.
There's now a new system in place with the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, a U.S.-backed agency set up. I can't say that it looks like it's working as well or better than before, but we still haven't even seen all the distribution points come online yet. What this new arrangement does is it cuts Hamas out of the process. And Israel's goal right now is to remove Hamas not only as a military threat to Israel, but also as a political force in Gaza. And whoever's controlling the humanitarian aid is basically controlling the economy of Gaza. So Israel,
what's up, neighbor guy? Good morning.
Israel doesn't want Hamas to have their hands on it. And that's why it's important for this American-backed initiative to come in and to be distributing aid directly to the people so they can't be hijacked by Hamas.
And you are taking a live look right now over one of the many cameras that we have in Gaza. We have the border, and then we have kind of the interior here as the war does continue. Specifically, this is over in Khan Yunis at this hour. One thing I did want to ask you about, because there's been some buzz on social media, what do we know about the new unmanned marine vessels that are being used by the Israeli Navy? Do they play any sort of role in this war with Hamas? And what about the other battles with Hezbollah and the Houthis?
Well,
Good question.
Israel, one of its largest borders is with the Mediterranean Sea, and also in the
Look at
Mediterranean.
that wild image. I mean, I'm surprised they even have any buildings left in Gaza, honestly.
Mediterranean Sea are significant natural gas deposits, including some that are already online, others that are not yet online. Israel's energy coming from natural gas that is offshore, and it's really important for Israel to be able to protect that. Those gas rigs were considered to be major targets during Israel's conflict with Hezbollah, which is now
no, SNS is not blocked.
Calmed significantly. I think that with regard to what's going on inside Gaza right now, that relies much more on manpower and Air Force. But we see that unmanned vehicles, including ATVs, which are used to go into dangerous areas and have been exploded in streets and set off charges that were placed actually by Hamas in order to booby trap buildings, have been very important component in saving lives. And obviously the unmanned air vehicles, some of which can drop ordnances that are precision guided on targets in a way that reduces collateral damage, have been very, very important. And it's just another demonstration of the technological superiority of Israel's military.
My last question for you, and as I always mention, there are a lot of developments that are happening pretty much on a daily basis. We know that Israel and Syria appear to be holding some direct talks that are happening right there at the border. What does that say, and what do we really know about the talks?
Well, I think this is a direct result of the president's diplomacy on his recent trip, and the president met in Saudi Arabia with al-Shara, who's the new de facto head of Syria, part of this Hayat Tahrir al-Sham's group that formerly was associated with al-Qaeda, but deposed of Bashar Assad. They had been pushing down towards the south in the Israeli border. They had threatened the Druze community in southern Syria, and there are hundreds of thousands of Druze in Israel as well. And we started to see how Israel was pushing back and demonstrating that any attacks on Druze would be considered an attack on Israel, and that any movements towards the south of the country would be considered a trigger for an Israeli response. Trump reduced or released the sanctions on Syria because they're desperate for aid. And one of Trump's conditions was that Syria should start to normalize relations with Israel. It's not going to be a full normalization agreement right now, but certainly deconfliction mechanisms in place because if this group will move down towards Israel, Israel is promising to respond harshly. And we already saw Israel basically take out the entire.
You guys are surprised that we're talking about YouTube and there's suppression in the chat? You guys are actually surprised with that? Come on.
Stop the cap.
You guys know every time that we talk about this kind of stuff, every single time that I've got Israel in the title, it's like automatic, kind of is what it is. But I appreciate you guys sticking with it. We're almost done with it, and then we're going to move into a SpaceX launch, actually.
Of the Syrian military, the planes, the ships, the tanks, immediately after Bashar Assad was deposed.
All right, Alex Trayman, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and break it all down. Anything else you want to add about any of the topics that we've covered? There have been quite a few, but anything you want to add before I let you go?
Well, it's certainly been a tough go diplomatically for Israel right now, and there's a lot of domestic challenges against Netanyahu as well.
You can't be surprised with his bias, Steve, being the director or CEO of the Jewish News Syndicate. He's definitely going to be biased, of course. Of course.
Well, but the most important thing for the prime minister is the support of the president of the United States. And there are many, both on the Israeli left and even on the American right, that are trying to project a rift between Netanyahu and Trump, trying to make Trump angry at Netanyahu. But the two sides are working very, very closely together. And particularly in this new incursion into Gaza, this is very strongly coordinated between the two sides. And yet the most important issue, of course, will be what happens with negotiations with Iran over their nuclear facilities. And it's very likely that within several weeks from now, we're going to have a lot more clarity about what the future of this conflict is going to look like, and if there will be a military strike on Iran's nuclear facilities.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right, Alex Trayman, thank you.
I think it probably will end up happening. I'm not going to even be surprised when it does happen. just going to be honest. When they basically bomb the shit out of Iran's nuclear shit, yeah, it's over. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the SpaceX rocket launch. We'll go ahead and end it with this. So let me go ahead and make sure we're okay. It's right here. Perfect.
Right now, I do want to take you out to this live image that we have. This is actually coming in courtesy
Hit the like button
SpaceX as a launch is about to get underway. I don't believe there's any audio, but let's pop up the live image right here on your screen.
Hey, that's cool. No audio? That's actually awesome. Oh, man, there is audio. Damn it.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal. Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Oh, I wasn't talking about us doing it in the United States, but yeah, that's very possible too. I was talking about Israel doing it, but yeah, 100%. Blast off, mother truckers. Shit. Let's see what I can do here. This one. I haven't done it in a long time.
Hello there, children.
Falcon 9
Today's
power and
topic,
telemetry are
We're
nominal.
going to talk about gang banging. I don't mean women. I mean gangsters banging.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Banging is permittable today.
Brother Provo with the $1.99, my man. Thank you, bro. Very much appreciate that, man.
You never know what another person been through till you really find out what it do. Choices. Look, today's slightly different from the 80s. Separated from greatness, killing up all the babies. Sickening and so degrading, and gripping and blooding daily. Never gonna let this fade me. Your will is done hitting graves. Me still standing.
I'm back, chill has
started. And contemplating, debating, time for retaliation. You new to this banging, you're quick to join in the game. When you don't even know the half about what set you be claiming. All these
other GEG.
Bruise, bloody blue shoes, Subaru. Hang yourself with a loose noose, no truth. You the fool if you don't hear when it's real. You plan to deal with your life, one day you bound to get killed. I done walked through the hood, seen a lot of blood spill. Mama's crying, baby's dying, getting served in the field. Don't regret the way I feel about today in the gang. Don't make no sense for you to drive up in this death lane. My nigga is talking gang talk.
Yes, there's music. Stop tripping.
You never know what another person been through till you really find.
Good morning, Dragon Klasky.
Nominal trajectory.
You never know what another person been through till you really find out what it do. Choices. Gang gang. Everybody got something to say, bro. Brothers in the streets getting stretched out like Play-Doh. Wear the right colors or better watch what you say, bro. Or get your face peeled off like a barrel of that Draco. Take no prisoners in this lane. There's prisoners in this gang. A sick thing, but some of y'all wouldn't understand the gang lane has changed. Now everybody banging. Online with that bullish and the fake sense you claiming. Fugazi, hit them streets and catch your fade. Bullets get more hits than the internet do daily. Sadie up in these streets without that social media shame. Many that I get claimed got shot from another gang. Blessing that I remain so real that I can't complain. I'm able to spit this game, yeah, Yogi gon' keep it sane and keep away from the flame and mentally train the brain and whatever else that I can claim and changing the game.
Fairing separation confirmed.
Walking gang walk. You never know what another person been through till you really find out what it do. Choices. Kids talking gang talk. Walking gang walk. You never know what another person been through till you really find out.
I wonder what they're actually like doing this launch for.
Little gesture. Stand up for yourself when you're feeling a lot of pressure. That's to go address ya. Actually, what's that you claim? Colors that you be wearing and sagging it like a bang. That ain't gonna get you nowhere. Homie, don't even go there. Hit me up on my hip and stop acting as if I don't care. You know where I've been up in it and out of it for a minute.
And if you are just joining us, here is what you're looking at. A live.
Wait, hold on.
And it ain't never gonna stop with the killing your brothers and getting shot by the cops. Now look at the situation becoming an occupation that's spreading across the nation. System really is tainted. Stay related with the ones that done been there before. Get some pointers, learn some lessons about the do's and don'ts. It's better to be square, no negative over there. Let's politic with each other and put one up in the air. Let's go.
Anyways, all right, back to the craziness.
From SpaceX, as SpaceX Falcon 9 has had a rocket launch of the Starlink B2 mini satellites to low Earth orbit. That launch did come from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. As you can hear, there is just a little bit of commentary coming in from SpaceX there, but we want to leave up the audio so you can hear everything as that information does come in. Again, the launch happening just about...
I do miss those days, Steve. Totally.
4 minutes ago. So we are in space for 4 minutes so far, and that number keeps on rising.
To test flight, they were unable to open payload doors. Interesting, sick bastard. Thank you for the answer on that. Very much appreciate that. Whether sometimes it's like them, whether they go to the space station or they're going and dropping off some sort of satellites or something. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yes, sir, Brother Carney. Always appreciate you. You guys stick around because we're going to be, as soon as this is over, we're going to be
vehicles continue to follow
sending you guys over to Carney. You know what I mean? Stick around for that raid skis. And yes, make sure everyone hits that like button. Very much appreciate all of your engagement. I know it's very laborious to hit that like button. I know, chat, but I believe in you guys. I very much do. Yeah, that's no kidding. No kidding, Lindsay. That's right, A2Z. Musk is sending supplies to his alien family. Yeah, no kidding, dude. No freaking kidding. Let's see if they don't like go and like actually do where they're landing back. Okay, they're just gonna end it while they're up there for probably, I don't know, a couple hours, I'd imagine, not just within a 6-minute range. But it's kind of crazy how far they get within just 6 minutes of that's 6 minutes and 14 seconds, and look how far away they are from the Earth. That shit is crazy to me. I mean, that was all real time. We didn't speed it up or anything. So. Anyways, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and cut this one a little tiny short because if I go into another topic right here, right now, then we're going to be going way super over. And honestly, I want to be able to hang out today. We got a double show today. That's why. We are back 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. And that's with the Diamond Effect. So we're going to have a good ass time and make sure you guys come back for that and hang out with us. We always have some great ass topics and great discussions to be had. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys hit the like button on the way out. Hit that subscribe button if you guys already haven't. It is free to do so, by the way. And little side note, make sure you guys follow my Instagram right here at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my lifestyle, but of the show, as well as Millennial Food Time. We get down with our bad selves over there. So I very much appreciate you guys and your engagement as always. But we'll be back this evening. And but if I don't see you guys this evening, then we'll see you guys tomorrow morning for more of the world's madness. Much love, honor, respect, and God bless everybody. We'll see you guys very soon.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart steel and a spirit unbroken, he rides onto his red.
Yeah, you're right. $2 dues from Lee, Lance, and Tiffany. Thank you guys so much. Shit.